Schwermetallisch here. Just last Thursday, Thursday it was. I talked to Tali Green from the band NICARUS. Tali is the only member. She's a multi-instrumentalist and she does it all completely alone. She was talking to me from Israel, and we had a nice little talk. It was a bit lengthy, but she had a lot to say about musical career and how things are going in Israel and how she as a musician works and gets her stuff together. So watch this, have fun, and stay safe. And today I'm talking to Tali Green of NICARUS.
Or NICARUS, as you wish, or whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, I struggled a bit because sometimes I read a word like 100 times in a row, and if someone asks me about the word, I already forgot.
No, it's totally okay, because NICARUS also have no meaning, and it's completely a name out of the blue. So, it's making sense. Some people told me NICARUS and NICARUS, and so that's fine. That's really okay.
I think Donald Trump might say it's Nika US.
That's a good one. Maybe I'm gonna change it.
Yes, Nika US. And you will make a fine career in the United States for 13 days until that orange man is gone. Oh man.
I don't know about politics, and I'm trying not to get involved in. I mean, even here it's enough. We have enough politics here already, so I'm just trying not. It's too much, and it's everywhere. So it's not good for the vibes. So I'm just trying not to.
Politics are almost always negative. That's the main problem. You can't talk about politics without
almost. It's always negative. Tell me one good thing that happened. I mean, there's sure many things positive that are happening, but no one talks about them. You see, so if no one talks about the good stuff, I'm not there. I mean, I'm not like unicorn. Let's live in La La Land when everything is nice. And no, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying is that if I can limit the amount of negativity and bullshit that it's not even related to my life. Like, I'm waking up in the morning, I have my own goals. I don't need to know. I mean, Donald Trump, isn't he like a reality guy or something? Why all my attention and energy should go there? I have Bibi here and all these politicians. I'm a stage person. I like attention. I know all about attention. I'm like, give it to me. I don't want to give you that. I mean, I don't want to give politicians my attention. I will give it to the people who deserve it. There are so many people doing amazing stuff out there, and we're busy with that shit that's everywhere. So I'm saying I'm fighting with myself actually every day not to listen to that, not to read these posts, not to look, because at that time when I spent on this, I can find an awesome band that working really hard in some basement in Poland. And I never even heard about them, and I want to hear about them, and I can't because everyone is talking about Donald Trump. So It's hard enough, it's hard enough to give attention to the right stuff. So I am really working on it.
I gave a lot of attention last year to music. To be honest, I did like 500 reviews, I think, and
way to go.
Yeah, I needed something to keep me sane among all these health issues and scary shit that happened all around us. And so I turned to music, and that was very good for me.
It's good for everyone. This is actually, but this is actually the answer. I really do believe music, art, any kind of art, it's actually the answer. And if you notice, that's the first thing they closed. Everything that is related to culture, everything that relate to sanity and staying busy on the good stuff and the positive stuff. These are like the first thing we stop doing. Why? Because we need to survive. This is like, it's a fiction. I don't really think we need to survive. I think we think we have a lot of everything. This is the world is having everything we could ever possibly dream of. Yet we have that thought, oh my God, we're about to die. Oh my God, it's going to happen. Oh my God, that. Yeah, maybe it's going to happen, but I don't think we need to put so much attention into that, because it's not healthy to be always in survival mode. And I'm also working on it. And music, like you said now, music and art are those things that stop time. Like they actually stop the time from happening, and then suddenly you're in a different zone, in a different place, and you can, your imagination start to work, and you have, you start to see colors and places, and this is healing. And healing is what they are kind of like, not, when I say they, it's not just politicians, it's us. We are doing it ourselves. We kind of put access on it right now. Like that's not important at the moment. And I think actually that's the most important thing at the moment. And that's why what you're doing, and I'm trying to do that too, is, I'm also having a podcast. I'm not doing it as like you. I'm really just once in a while when I have time, because I'm super busy right now with music and everything. But when I'm not having so much creativity, I'm trying, to look for other stuff and art. And even if it's not just music, it can be any kind of like books and a lot of stuff to discover and to look for. And I really hope that people will find the time, because time is it's true though, it's a cliche, but it's true, it is illusion. So going to health and healing and art and music, that's actually, I think, a better way to waste our time. That's how I see it anyway.
And it doesn't feel like it's wasted. That's the point.
I know, I'm saying waste like, not really wasting. Like waste is talking about Donald Trump, and I'm talking about even the small talks. Like stop with it. Don't talk about these people. They don't know you. Why you know them? It's like talking about reality stars. They go through their path. They chose the easy path, which is like a reality show. That's fine. Why are you talking about it? Like, why are you talking about them? They don't know you. Why you know them? And I understand that politics supposed to take care of the rest of us. Like they supposed to take care of the country. They do have effect on all of us with rules, but it's also not true, because they're not having any effect on us. I mean, there are rules, yes, the rules are going to change a little bit here and there, maybe a bit left, maybe a bit right, but in all of that, in the West anyway, we do have freedom at the moment. So we can choose where we put our, attention. It's not like if I'm going to say something, they're going to kill me on the street, like in some countries. So we need to understand at the moment, and let's hope it's going to stay that way. And I'm just saying that we need to appreciate that itself, to not worry as much. Because I think to be worried, it's what's going to lead to these really dark places that we don't want to get. So...
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I was going on a rant here. But
so for change, let's talk about your music.
You just need to say politic, and I'm already because it's everywhere. All my friends, and I'm getting older now. When I was a kid, when I was 15, 20 years old, we didn't care about that shit at all. Just jokes and fun and death. We didn't care about that. And I'm actually looking for that 15 years old in me again, because I see all my friends getting older as well. And they get into it, they buy into that, show. And it's like they gave up on life. When you buy into that show, you basically say bye to yourself and you go to someone else's life. So it's hard to stay sane and old. Older and sane. It's not as easy, but it's possible.
Yeah, that's true.
Right,
Yeah,
let's talk about
last year was really fucked up year for most of us. Most musicians who released new albums couldn't tour or couldn't play one single gig with their new material. So that's that. Um, so your music is quite interesting. I checked it out, and I have to say the first thing I realized is that it reminded me on of Garbage and
Okay.
Hole.
Okay, cool.
So the comparison to Chelsea Wolf, I don't know because that's not my kind of music, and I don't know one
Who
song of
compared it to
her.
Chelsea Wolf? I don't even know those names. Someone compared it. I don't know that. I know Garbage. I was raising up in the 90s, and that was like, in every bar and every pub you went out, there's always this music and the grunge of the 90s. So, and yeah, it's got heavier guitars. So obviously it's gonna remind you probably, and like I said the other day, you're not the first person who say my music and 90s stuff at the same sentence. And I guess that's making sense, even though, I don't think about that, but it's making sense because I was growing up in the 90s. So obviously my first, introduction with music was in the 90s and 80s and so on. So it's in my DNA, you cannot escape that, even if it's not something that I'm listening to, and I'm not, but it's there, of course. I mean, the sound of the 90s is obviously going to be there somewhere. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a few years ago, my taste in music was quite different, and when I if I had said something about the 90s at that point in my life, that would have not been a positive thing. But yeah, as I grow older and I grow more fond of my memories of my youth and my earlier years, I realize that sometimes I really miss grunge. Even grunge. I fucking hated grunge for a really long time, but yeah, it's a past, and it was a good time in on MTV. When MTV still played music. That was the 90s for me, and yeah, today when I mention the 90s, it's almost always, hey, that sounds cool. That sounds like the 90s.
I had the same thing with the 80s. I was anti 80s for a long time because of actually the sounds that everyone were using the same synthesizer, and everything sounded, I'm coming from the like real approach in music, that you want to stay as close to the original source and sound, that's kind of the privilege that technology brought with it in the 90s and since. But in the 80s, everything was experimented digitally, just came up, all that. So everything was so narrow. So I was against that. Not against, but I had like you just said with the 90s, I had with the 80s for a long time. And it's only later that I was like listening to that and found the charm that the 80s brought, like understanding it was just a path of discovery. And I find it something very beautiful and naive today, because now we have everything. That's how we feel anyway. I mean, we kind of got to the point of, the peak of technology, of discovering that, and it's very hard to now to go into a place of discovering new technology. That's what they had in the 80s. They're just discovering that. It's like, oh wow, let's just add this synthesizer in, let's just add this drum machine. It was like, wow, a drum machine. And we don't have that today. We don't have that discovering kind of curiosity when it comes to new technology. We got used to it, we got spoiled. So now when I'm looking at the 80s, even though, it's stupid sound, but it got the charm of naivety that I loved, I respect today. I find in any, the process, I like it.
Yeah, it feels like naivety has died in the last years, and if some pop musician nowadays gives the feeling of naivety, it's artificial, it's plastic, it's not real. And if you listen to stuff from the 80s, you really believe, okay, those people did not know it better, or it was just like, yeah, sometimes it just sounds like magic.
Absolutely, that's what I meant. When today you do just in order to do, and just in order to get things out. And I think also because everything is immediate. Twitter is immediate messages, and Facebook is immediate communication, and everything is immediate. I think people also want to get things like now. I want to get it out. That's what's important. And they are forgetting to enjoy the process. And I just had it's like not so long ago that's like a 45 years old guy from the United States wrote me a message, and he said, I was making music for so many years and I'm not making it. And I said, like, why not? Just do it. And he said, no, because everyone invented everything already. And I said, but that's not what's important. There's always new stuff you can bring. There's only one you. There's no one like you. So whatever it is, enjoy it. And I think that's the naivety that had in the 80s because of the new technology. But I still think we can find it in us. We can enjoy what we do, even though it's not a new thing. I did not invent anything, but I did because I was bringing myself, and whatever that affected me. So it's new. Even if it sounds like other million things, even though I'm not sure it is, but even if it is, it doesn't matter. If you enjoy it, the process, then you already won. That's how I see it.
One question: how is your first name spelled?
How it's spelled?
Yeah, like, is it Tali? Is it Tali?
Okay, yeah, it's Tali. It's just Tali. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
Tali.
pronounced Tali. Yeah.
How would you describe your music to a stranger?
I
To
would
a
not.
strange person?
I would never dare to do something like that. Putting words in waves is something that it's hard enough to do with lyrics. I would not dare to describe. I'm not a big fan of describing things. I'm gonna let critic and reviewers and all that do that. They do that much better than I, even though I read it and sometimes I don't even understand. I don't know to describe stuff. I'm just not good at that. So I'm not sure I can even do that. Like I'm not because I don't want to. I actually don't know if I can do it. It's gonna take me a long time, and I'm gonna talk about Mars and the stars and how it's gonna go underground and some spots and dots and artifacts flying in the air. And then after like 1 hour, you're gonna look at me and say, "Okay, you've done," and I will say no, because there's no way to describe that in words. I can't do that.
So, why is your record called "Cold People, Cold Puppets"?
I was asking myself the same question, and I'm not sure I can explain it. Like most of the stuff that comes to me, sometimes the stuff comes out of dreams, sometimes a daydream. Sometimes, I can talk to you right now. I had a pen actually, and it fell down on the floor. While I'm talking to you, when I'm talking on the phone or talking with a person, I'm always like, just scratching stuff. Sometimes words come out, and I can't remember where it came from, but today I understand more what I meant than when I came with it, which is crazy to explain even to myself, but it's always like that. Sometimes after 10 years, I'm like, oh, that's why I wrote it. And I didn't know that at the time. So now I understand why the name is what it is. But when that came it was just like, it was just there. And I knew that's the album. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew that's the title of the album. It's just like something. and that's it, and you move on.
Okay.
Like, there was no thought into that, just like a picture in my mind, and the title and the name and everything, and that's it.
So, any favorite songs to play from that album?
All of them.
That's a very diplomatic answer to the
No,
question.
I mean, you're talking about my baby here. It's like I can't. It's true. That's what it is. I love everything. If I would not like it, I couldn't put that in the album. It's one big story, and there's a start and there's an end, and it all just comes together. So I really do love each one of those songs. I enjoy to listen to them. I was driving actually today and listened to my album and said, that's really good shit. I enjoy it. I enjoyed listening to it. So that means it's good. You know, it means that I did good. And I don't know. I just hope that, I mean, some people will love that and not going to love something else. That's okay. But I love them all. So I don't know what to tell you. All of them are really...
That's great. Many musicians are too close to their own stuff to express any love at all. When being interviewed, it's like I don't want to listen to it anymore, and I can't.
You know, it depends how much of a break you take. I took a little bit of break now from that and wrote other stuff because I finished working on the album like kind of a long time ago already. Now it's coming out, but I finished working on it when I finished mastering it. So that was, I think, a few months ago. I took a break and I wasn't listening to it. Like, I finished it already. So I was writing other stuff, and I'm always listening to music. Like, I'm always listening to music while I'm driving. So, you know, I was just listening to that today, and I am like practicing it and playing it, but it's different. When you're playing it, the brain is thinking about a lot of other stuff, not necessarily as an audience. So when I was driving today and listening to that, just like an audience, I could enjoy it. But yeah, you know, I could not listen to NICARUS every day. I need a break from myself. And, you know, I'm to listen to other stuff, of course. But yeah, let's put it this way. I am very excited to start and work on other stuff. Like I had enough. But
So
I love it.
you are obviously a multi-instrumentalist. You played and sung all the stuff on your record. So as an artist, what are your future goals?
Goals? My future goals is to take over Mars and build a city of people like me on Mars. But if that's not gonna happen, then the other goals I don't have as much goals. I just really hope not to die before I write more music. I mean, honestly, that's like, as long as I'm still here, I'm just happy about it, and I'm trying to not die and live life full. And then if something comes, it comes. I do want to get the sound of the next albums to be maybe more like, to have the tools to get it more analog and make more experiments when it comes to sound wise, like when it comes to mixing, because I was a bit limited now with the tools that I was working with. So that's like a goal of the way I want to make the album. As an artist, I always write. Like, I always write. So whatever comes, you know. But if I'll be able to make an album on 24 tracks, like reel to reel, you know, like an actual tape machine, that is something that I really want to do. I don't have the tape machine, and I don't have the budget to rent that, but it's like a goal. Like it is a goal to have my own tape machine and do a full album on that. And I have all kind of ideas like that. So this is going to be one of them, one of those goals.
So, if you play a gig live, what's the concept behind that? Is that really like a tour, or more like small venues and bars? You would like to play just you and live band, or?
Okay, so yeah, you're asking about performance. I'm working right now on my live show concept, which is only me on stage and the guitar. And it's true, you're right, because I can't basically play all the instruments while I'm on stage, right? But I have Peter and I have John. They are two imaginary friends of mine. Peter is the bass player and John is the guitar player. And the drummer name is Rom. Rom is actually a guy that exists. And he recorded the drums for this album, and actually the album I released in 2019, my EP, Holy Son, Father, Spirit. So he was drumming for me on both of the records, because by the way, it's important to say, I was doing all the instruments and I wrote the drum parts. But for playing it, like recording the drums, he came and do the drums. He recorded the drums. So I took the drums and I changed the sound a little bit. So it's gonna sound like real drummer on stage, live drums. So it's not the same drums from the album. And I also played with different takes. And I play with the bass, I am recording my intentions to, before each performance, to record a new bass line as if that was on stage. Same with the guitars. You're never going to hear the same guitar twice. I'm going to record the whole show like John and Peter with me, as if John and Peter were with me. And
so you're singing live and playing guitar live, and the rest is pre-recorded?
The rest is pre-recorded, but I'm doing reamping live, meaning that I am having amps on stage, and I'm sending each track of the guitars to the amp. So the source is not a real man, but it's me. I was playing it 1 hour before the show, and now I'm putting it in the amp. All right. Same with the bass, and same with the drums. And I'm singing and playing the guitar. So I have a full band with me, but they're not on stage.
That sounds like an awful lot of work.
It's a great lot of work. I don't have anything else to do in life. I have nothing else to do, so.
That sounds like luxury. That's it's great. There was
luxury is actually to have the right people. Where I'm coming from, it's very hard to find the right people, to find people who have time for you, who want to play because they actually want to play, who I'm not living in the United States, and here it's a very small country, and it's not that easy to find people. That's how it started. I didn't do it because I was as rude I am today, but when I started, I didn't want to do the guitars. I didn't want to do the bass. I didn't want to do all that. But I couldn't find the people to help me with my vision. Everyone had ideas and they wanted to do funk and so it was very hard to find the people. This is how it started. So I said, all right, fuck it. I'm going to do that then, because I know what I want to do. And it was really hard for me to find. And I wasn't giving up. I wasn't giving up until like 2016, 17, when I had to pay a guitar player and a bass player and all that. And then I said, what am I doing? Why am I paying people to play music? It's wrong. You know what? I'm going to do that by myself. And then I thought, how am I going to do the performance live by myself? I mean, yeah, I can do a record by myself, but how am I going to do that? And then, NICARUS went to sleep and woke up one day and said, if I can do a record by myself because I don't have the people, I can do that as well. So sometimes limitation is it's a birth for the stuff that's happening, not just necessarily because I was as rude. I am today, by the way. After I was finishing Holy Son, Father, Spirit, I saw that I can do that. that was like, oh, I did that, I can do that, I didn't want to play the guitar, but I am just a singer, that was my kind of concept in I'm just a singer. But then I finished that album and I said, it's actually, I can do that, maybe I can do that even in shorter time. Maybe I can do another album, but this time I'm going to do that in like 2-3 years, and I'll do everything. Maybe I can try and do that. And I said, okay, what else I can do? I want to do that. So I did that. And then I thought, okay, I have to take it on stage now. What am I going to do? So out of depression of not having people, because my dream, Dennis, I wanted to be in a band since like I was 15 years old. I had a punk band, and that's all I wanted. All my friends was guys. I wanted to have the band, I wanted to be in a band. And that was my dream, but it never happened. I mean, I had bands here and there when I was younger. I had this like rock and roll band, but nothing like that was very serious, that like living the life of just music all the time, talking about music, making music. So I had to do that by myself. And I'm not sad about it. There's a sense of freedom in it. There's a sense of freedom of doing that. So yeah.
Sounds cool.
You can do everything, that's the point. You can do everything. If you, and I think that I'm the proof of that. Not just me, but many others. And I think like, if you want to do something, just do it. It's that simple. You're going to find a way. So I found a way to do what I need to do. And it's going to be by reamping live. I'm sending each track because, yeah, it's important to me that it's not going to sound like a DJ. Like I play on a track. That's not the point of performance live, but I can only bring myself, and NICARUS is me, and the album is me, so me is going to be on stage.
Yeah, so I'm out of questions, Tali, and yeah, it sounds like you know exactly what you did, what you want to do, and who you are, and that's pretty cool for an artist, because that's I think for many artists they search for themselves a lot
all the time. It's never ending. Right now I know in 1 year or even less than that I can tell you something else. We always change, we always evolve. Maybe things will change, maybe I'm going to decide to do something else, I don't know what's going to happen. But as far as it comes to the vision of NICARUS, I really wanted to go on stage with this album, and I just had to change the concept in my mind first, because I could not bring Holy Sun to be on stage because of that. And I built everything around the stage. I need, and I found a way to do it. So I am doing it now, and hopefully things will come back and reopen again, and I'll be able to, to go more outside, and that's what I was waiting for. But now all this happening now, so
yeah, I hope things open up soon, as soon as we all have the vaccine, and yeah, immunity is completed. That would be very nice. I miss the gigs really hard. Yeah,
what? So much.
Yeah, so that was it from me. Yeah, I have no more ammunition in my questions catalog, and it was nice to have you.
Oh, okay.
And thank you very much for your time.
And thank you for having me, and thank you for your time. And I'm really happy to talk with Germany, and I hope to see you there very soon. I hope things will open and we just all can go back to normal and just, see each other and have fun and music. And you know what? It's going to happen eventually. We just need to be patient and keep being creative and keep writing and keep fighting that machine, never lose that rebellion, that coming from actually not from a stupid place like maybe people think. It's coming from a place of being actually very smart and intelligent, and understand that, maybe things are not as it seems, and even if they are, we cannot lose ourselves. Like, we cannot lose what culture is, and what sanity is, and what normality is. And if we can go outside and protest like millions of people with masks, we can go to shows, and we can do all the stuff we do, and we can take care of ourselves with diseases, with asteroids that comes to Earth, with earthquakes, with fires. We can and we should keep living and do what we believe, and stay together, and support each other, and do all that stuff even more. So let's not. I just really hope that we will not give up to that, and just keep music and art going. This is so important right now, and maybe in history it's gonna be the most important art that ever made. The art that is made now. Yeah, this human spirit can't be taken down, and we need to fight for it. It's not gonna come for free, though. There are many forces, I believe, that want us to keep us, separated and sad, and like Star Wars. We all grew up on that. We've seen all these forces going on, and I believe that there are in each and every one of us, those forces. But we have to remember that we are stronger than that, and we have much more potential. And we just didn't even started yet to understand that. So I really hope to be in Germany, and soon, because I've been in Germany, and I've been in Munich, and I've been in Berlin. No, Berlin I haven't been, but I've been in other places around, and it's so beautiful. And I can't wait to meet you there.
Yeah. Fingers crossed to see you soon.
Thank you. And thank you very much for what you're doing.
Yeah, it's more of a passion thing, so
That's awesome. I'm jealous of you. I want to do that now. You inspired me to go back and do the podcast and talk with more musicians. It's very good, to meet people and talk about what we do. And salute to you for giving the stage, and I appreciate that.
Anytime.
All right.
So yeah, have a nice evening.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.